Back to what we were talking about earlier.
By the way, we were friends and foes in a life. Imran Khan, before he entered in politics, he was a regular visitor to me for donations for his hospital. So it's not that we don't know each other, but I wish he should not have provoked, he should not have mobilized his party, taking the state. This was most unfortunate. I wish he should have done it. But I can assure you, this government has nothing to, as you know, that this government hasn't done anything. By the way, the current government hasn't taken any action against. It's the judiciary, it is the caretaker government, it is the judiciary, it is the due process. So we hardly have any right to interfere like any other democratic country in the judicial system. So that's what the fact is.
I'm going to switch to domestic politics in Pakistan, unfortunately.
Sure.
You may not like this question.
Sure.
But as you know, about 2 years ago, Imran Khan was arrested. He has a very significant level of support in your own country and abroad as well. And there are concerns that have been raised that perhaps due process is not being followed in his case. And of course, it's not the first time that a prominent political figure has been behind bars in Pakistan. Do you worry that Pakistan's sort of democratic credentials abroad are jeopardized by what's going on with this case, or do you feel like you have to explain it when you travel overseas?
Well, let me frankly share with you. I am known, if you find out from in Pakistan Parliament for the last almost 32 years. I've been twice a member of the lower house, National Assembly of Pakistan. This is my 5th term in the Senate of Pakistan. I've been leader of the opposition in the Senate. I'm currently leader of the House for the last few years. So I was known a reconciliator. 2014, Imran Khan's party, 126 days of sit-in, political sit-in in 2014 in Islamabad, which actually hampered our economic growth and caused a lot of loss. I'm the one who actually, on behalf of the government at that time, negotiated with my colleagues the ceasefire, I will call it, the domestic ceasefire, political ceasefire. So they wound up and everything fine. You see, when you take the state on and you pick up the arms and you do things what happened on May the 9th, unfortunately, a man like me cannot even do anything. The due process of law has to take place, which is in progress. So I think we should not politicize anything. For example, if I say that Afia Siddiqui is here for decades and going to be God knows till when, so I think I will be unfair. If your due process for law has resulted in that action, the same applies to everybody. So there's no exception. If you are popular political leader, it doesn't give you a license to pick arms, to provoke public, and to go and attack the security installation of a country. This is nothing but treason. So I'm not a judge. I can't do anything. I used to facilitate, but even a man like me can't do anything. The due process of law will take its own course. But I can assure you, this government has nothing to, as you know, that this government hasn't done anything. By the way, the current government hasn't taken any action against. It's the judiciary, it is the caretaker government, it is the judiciary, it is the due process. So we hardly have any right to interfere like any other democratic country in the judicial system. So that's what the fact is.
Back to what we were talking about earlier.
By the way, we were friends and foes in a life. Imran Khan, before he entered in politics, he was a regular visitor to me for donations for his hospital. So it's not that we don't know each other, but I wish he should not have provoked, he should not have mobilized his party, taking the state. This was most unfortunate. I wish he should have done it.
You talked earlier about terrorism. I just want to go back to that one more time. In militancy, there's been a resurgence of TTP to some degree, and there's been accusations that the government in Kabul has somehow given them shelter at times. Do you have any regrets or second thoughts about how Pakistan has dealt with the Taliban over the years in Afghanistan. And did you underestimate or miscalculate, perhaps, about how the Afghan Taliban would operate once in power?
Well, first of all, let's talk about TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. And I have regrets. I am concerned Pakistani. I just explained to you, perhaps one of the most disturbed Pakistani would be myself, who spent hundreds of billions between 2014 and 2017 to eliminate this menace. It is a great friend we talked about, his government. They just released the hardened criminals, over 100. They opened the borders, 35 to 40,000 TTPs came back. The Taliban's came back, they're resurrection. But we haven't given up. We have restarted this progress because it was our political party which did it in 2014, 2017, cleans up. We'll do it again. But yes, as a country, decision was, in my opinion, with hindsight, the most unfortunate one. Should not have. Neither those hardened criminals should have been released, who are now these suicidal bombers leaders, group leaders, nor the border should have been reopened for all these Talibans to come free. And I don't know whether you remember somebody said that I'm only here in Kabul for a cup of tea. That cup of tea has caused us the resurgence of the militants in Pakistan, unfortunately.
Tariffs are a great threat right now for many governments and the ministers who come to Washington. Are you optimistic? Will you make a forecast? Is the tariff for Pakistani goods not going to go up to 20-some%? Do you have a...
I can't predict, but as long as we are better than or equal to our peers, we should be fine. You have to compete with the peers, and the peers, we have seen what tariffs are there. So perhaps we will carefully watch the announcements. Few have been done. They are so far not very worrisome. So, it is, as I said, it's a sovereign state. It has to take its own decisions. It's a policy, it's a big policy move. You haven't seen this sort of approach, and the formula was very innovative. You are calculating the trade deficit by excluding the services revenue. Wonderful. As a chartered accountant, I love to see that formula because you rarely find such formulas in normal maths.
I was just going to say, during the Cold War, countries had to choose sides.
Sure.
And some people are now saying this is something akin to the Cold War, maybe slightly different, but a lot of tension between China and the US. So that's why I'm asking, it must be very difficult at times now, because both countries kind of want you to choose.
Well, I think we have played the role of, bridge between the two countries in the past, and we can do the same. We can bring the two countries closer, and I think that will be win-win for the globe. You will get millions and millions out of poverty, and that would be very positive. So let's see from the positive angle instead of seeing from a narrow negative angle. Obviously, one can always find something fishy if you want to think negative. So we are very, very sure that this relationship can be win-win for the globe.
What is the outlook for trade now? There's a trade deficit, obviously a trade surplus for Pakistan with the US. You mentioned minerals. Would be quite a major development if that were to happen. That would also be a huge commitment for both countries, obviously. Logistically and politically, is there signs that you're close to some trade deal and a minerals deal?
I think we are very close to finalizing a deal with the US. Our teams have been here in Washington discussing, having virtual meetings, and a committee has been tasked by the Prime Minister to fine-tune now. I think it's, I did mention that it's not going to be months, but not even weeks, I would say days, that we would come up. So this is one side. But the potential for the US and the US business entrepreneurs is huge. You see, a country with external debt of only 130 billion US dollars. Our percentage is much better than US debt to GDP, much better than UK, much better than Japan. But they have secondary markets. If they have to finance their external deficit, they simply float the paper, sovereign paper, and it's bought. So you see, we believe that the potential Pakistan has in IT, in AI, in mines and minerals. And by the way, the most conservative estimates of Pakistan's mines and minerals and the natural resources is $6 to $8 trillion. Now, Recordec is one. I'm glad that your Exim Bank is looking, World Bank is ready to finance the US entrepreneurs who are going to be involved. So this is one block. There's one study which says that Pakistan is likely to be the 4th richest offshore gas country. So we have advertised 40 blocks. Most welcome. Let the American investors and entrepreneurs come and start explorations. So we are not pick and choose. We are open, and we want our friends, our American. By the way, there are dozens of multinationals, companies of US, which have decades-old business setup in Pakistan. You could name few: Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Procter and Gamble. There's so many. So I think there's a great potential. This is a positive. This government. You see, we reached its unfortunate cycle. We reached by 2013, Pakistan was a macroeconomic unstable country. These natural resources were not flagged or highlighted in the way these have been now. And we had a serious problem. But 2017, only in 3.5 years, we not only fixed our all macro indicators, economic indicators were fine, inflation was low, 3.59, growth was 6.3, highest forex reserves, and 24th global economy in the world. Unfortunately, what I call natural, we all know COVID, natural and human pandemic in Pakistan. I add the human pandemic because it was a mishandling in the next 2018-22 Pakistan economy. And we landed as 47th. We declined from 24th to 47th global economy. So this government is committed to take it back. So while we have stabilized the economy, now we are working for the growth and take the economy now towards the right direction. So there's a great potential for friends, American friends, to look into Pakistan market.